So first of all, good afternoon. My name is Dagnija. Again, I need to repeat Janis, who haven't met me. A few of you have. I'm Management Program Advisor here at Riga Business School, and I will get to information about the actual program information to tell you about what you have to do to enroll if you got interested and so on. But of course, I need to thank Janis and also Toms for giving you a rich overview, who we are, what we do, and who our partners are. But to start with, I'd like to show you a video that, in my mind, gives a very good kind of understanding what our students and faculty do with the program.
Personal challenge.
Intensive.
Educational.
Excellent.
Global.
RBS has a very unique characteristic, which unfortunately nowadays is quite rare to find, that each student is approached as a person and not as a mere number. With a very international and open-minded faculty members, it makes it easier to create a real relationship between professor and student, and is much more effective. As I have studied in several countries like the US, Switzerland and Brazil, I have never seen such a serious approach to business as here in RBS. And still, they are able to make it in a very lively way.
I wanted to challenge myself, and I did it. I joined a great community of knowledge, experience, and challenge, and it was the best decision I have made. Even more, it's a real business school, and already now I can implement my dream business idea in a real life using the school's offered startup lab opportunities. This is a real out-of-box environment, and you can be part of it and make your dreams come true. Join our team.
Hello, we offer at RBS the best option for your studies. Here everything is about excellence. Why? For very simple reasons. First, we have a great program because we do it in cooperation with some of the best business schools in the world. BI from Oslo, USB from South Africa, Ottawa from Canada, Buffalo from New York. Second, you come here to a community where we will take care of you. Third, RBS is a platform where you will be able to build your dream business and invest from the very first day of your studies. And fourth, last but not least, RBS is a school in Latvia with faculty and staff from the 5 continents. Come to RBS and you will have an exciting time.
Deloitte in Latvia believes that exceptional service to clients can be delivered only by exceptional people, and because of positive energy, great enthusiasm, skills, and strong academic and practical background that is common to all RBS BBA students, Deloitte in Latvia is open to welcome these graduates to the firm for future opportunities.
That was really in a nutshell, and really like a visual way to show what the program is about. About the program itself, about the structure, it's one program, but there are 3 options. So you can spend all 3 years here in Riga and get Latvian RBS diploma. Second, you can do first 2 years in Riga and the third one in Norway, and that's what Tom was referring to. He was basically speaking of this cooperation. And then you also have a third option to spend 3 years here in Riga and go for the first one to US and have a double degree from University at Buffalo. But the program is one. And also you don't have to make a decision right away, like prior the application or with the application process, you can, bless you, you can make a decision like at the second year. The program for both, for the first and for the second option looks like this. So either you stay all 3 years here, or you go for the third one to Oslo. The program, the subjects will be like this. What is very important and what kind of differentiates us from other programs is that here you have the really major subjects already in the first semester. Like for instance, the firm, which gives you a very, very broad understanding of the full picture, how the business processes are. And we have also today a faculty member who is instructing this course, and he will tell you more about that. Also, like marketing, accounting, that usually happens in other programs from the second year. But for us, it's very important that you understand from the very beginning that you are really interested in this major management. Also, what is important, the practical approach, and what you, of course, that you can implement, and that you can apply the theoretical knowledge into real life. Therefore, there are 2 internships that are mandatory and that are within the program after the first year and then after the second. And those are really real job experiences, not like carrying papers from one table to another, but working in the companies and very often in collaboration with our alumni that were mentioned before. And that's also the first BBA program in Latvia. And to be a BBA, similar like to be an MBA program, we have to really align with certain standards. About UB, here you see the subjects for the 4th year, if you would spend that year in US. And the difference is that you would have certain liberal arts subjects. Liberal arts is a very popular concept in US higher education system, which gives you kind of the broader understanding of life, that helps you to broaden your horizons and enhance your critical reasoning, critical thinking. And Lester also will be able to talk a bit more about this concept. But what's important is that thanks to this collaboration, we have this very important accreditation that Tom was referring to, that BI is getting in 2014, but UB has it already. And faculty, to be the BBA program, we have to have at least 50% of our faculties from abroad. So 50% of our faculty are international, and also even more who has experience, either professional or academic, abroad. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to one of our faculty members, Lester Golden, who is tremendously interesting personality with really broad understanding, who has read, I think, half of the books that are written and published in the world. So, Lester, please tell a bit more about your courses you teach.
Thank you. Sveiki, здравствуйте. Buenos días, buongiorno, bonjour, guten Tag. At RBS, you're going to be in Norway, the USA, and Latvia simultaneously. I'm one of the American pieces of the puzzle. What we try to do, or what I try to do, is essentially to give you the education that I had. I got a BA in history from Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts, and then a graduate degree in history from UCLA, and then an MBA from the Fuqua School of Business at Duke University. I've lived in Spain for 3 years, Italy for 16 years, France for 2 summers. That's where I got all those languages from buying a bunch of one-way plane tickets. And one of the essentials to the way I teach is critical thinking, research. I did a thesis on the Spanish Civil War, interviewed lots of war veterans in order to do that. And what you get when you take the firm is you learn how to dig. You learn how to drill down into companies, how they work. And you learn not just the what, but the how. In other words, we teach you how to think. It's not about teaching you what to think. Central planning doesn't work in economics, and it doesn't work in academics either. So we don't believe in central planning. We don't believe in teaching you top-down. And the idea is to teach you with a mode of inquiry, which is what I learned at Hampshire College, how to drill down yourself. And when you acquire this skill set, you will then be able to teach yourself anything 15, 20, 30 years later. That will require unlearning certain high school habits, which involves expecting the right answer from the teacher. In the firm, there aren't any right answers. There are just good arguments, strong arguments, and weak arguments. Some students find this very disorienting initially, but it's kind of like the shock therapy that Eastern Europe went through in 1991. Yeah, it's a shock at first, but you get over it and you get used to it. One of the essentials to this process is acquiring certain skills in written expression. In other words, writing precisely, how to use language with precision, and you will get lots of help both from me and from the English teacher, Tatiana, in how to write more precisely. If you write well, that's great. If you don't, you will learn. Another thing you learn to do is to debate. The firm has 6 different debates. Each student does 2 of them, in which you get up here and you take a topic, like for ethics. Well, you debate, were the atomic bombings of Japan morally justifiable? And then you also debate the trolley problem. There's a fat man on a bridge. There's a trolley about to run over 5 construction workers. Is it justifiable to push the fat man over the bridge? A moral dilemma. That's part of business ethics. Sometimes you don't have a choice between good and bad, only bad and worse. Okay, if you are shy, after you debate in the firm, you'll be a lot less shy. Okay, my 3 courses are not just academic. The firm is interdisciplinary. There's lots of cross-fertilization between faculty. I find lots of articles in the course of doing investment research about accounting fraud, about how managements engage in legal but borderline accounting fraud. I hand them all to Yeva, the accounting professor, and she likes them very much. Also, all the faculty here have hands-on experience. Some of my hands-on experience you can see here. For 20 years, I had an ad agency. You can pass these around. On the cards are some of my clients. And I also came to Latvia starting in 1998 and developed some real estate. I raised money for my brother's private equity real estate fund, so I have a good idea of how hedge funds raise money. I've known the booms and I've known the crashes. Have I been burned in the crashes? Yes. And so you will learn about fat tails, highly improbable random events, and about where crashes come from. And you're going to fly with funny money. You're going to fly in the simulator. You'll do a game on a website called Stock Track, in which you will play a trading game, and I will play it with you. And this is so that in 20 years, when you fly up into combat with real money, you don't get burnt, you don't get shot down. Have I been shot down? Yep, I have. And part of the game is learning history. I'm an historian. If you don't know history and you're investing money, you have no idea where you're going. In other words, if you don't know where markets and cycles have been, you will not know where you're going. It is extremely dangerous to invest money with no sense of history. Did I do that about 10 years ago? Yeah, I did. Did I get burned in 2008? Yep. I I hope you benefit from my experience. Next year, I am currently designing a course which is from the University of Buffalo, a World Civilizations course, and so you will also get a history course, which will go from the Neolithic Revolution to the day before yesterday. And the idea I have about teaching history is not the oh, by the way, who hates history? Who has hated history? Okay? The way we will teach history here will be antithetical to every history course you have ever come into contact in high school. It's not about memorizing isolated facts and dates. It will not be chronological. It will be thematic. You study certain themes, and you stick to those themes. For example, you want to study, for 6 or 7 classes, we study war and empire. 6 or 7 classes, we study oligarchy, tyranny, and democracy. And we go from the Greeks to the Romans to the Americans to the British, around the world, different civilizations, but the same problems. History is fascinating. I used to say to my students at UCLA, where I did teach for 2 years, history is fascinating, but stay out of the way. You can get run over. If you live in this neighborhood in Eastern Europe, you, through your families, know more than almost anybody in any part of the world how you can get run over by history. I lived in Portugal in 1974. I watched Portuguese fascism die in a revolution. Then I lived in Spain in 1976. I watched Spanish fascism die. Both experiences were beautiful. Fortunately, I was born after 1945 in North America, so I haven't gotten run over by history. But I've talked to a lot of people who have. And my grandmother on my mother's side sailed to New York from Liepaja in 1906. So I do have a slight connection with this part of the world. I am very happy she sailed to New York. Okay? One of the things you learn in history, whether it has to do with markets, in studying investments in the spring with my course, The Firm is Investment, in which you also do things like options and futures, and all kinds of other financial nuclear weapons. Edix will be able to tell you how dangerous they are. You also do things like do videos, experimental videos on subjects of your own choosing about the sources of human error in financial decision making. Okay, Edix had the good fortune to do an experimental video on both me and Janis Grevinj. In other words, I have been my student's lab rat. We had a very good time. On the RBS website, you can look at Lester and Janis being financial laboratory rats, and see that the sources of human error are fairly universal. One key to how we teach here is constantly fostering critical thinking and learning by analogy, not learning the way you have traditionally been taught in a more hierarchical environment in the past. So if you come, it'll be a very interesting, creative, and wild ride. Thank you very much.
Maybe any questions for Lester?
Questions?
No?
Okay.
About the setting, what I really want to emphasize before students talk, how they learn and so on, it's very important to understand that that's a full-time program. Full-time program where all classes happen like on work days from 9 to 1 p.m. That means it's not really possible to combine that with work. Because very many people ask us, is it possible? Because we have, usually how it happens, students do it really simultaneously. They study and they work, but here it's not really possible. Unless it's like some part-time job or you have some small private business. Some of our students do that, but otherwise not really. After 1 p.m. what happens? There are many other things they do besides schoolwork, besides the lectures. They're like mentorship sessions, and they can meet with the faculty members and talk about their problems, issues, so we can like help them to solve them right away. They have, of course, assignments. That's like the common sense, but for those who might have any issues, problems with math or with English, they're free of charge tutorials, like extra lessons that might help you to succeed. Also, Startup Lab, when you can join kind of the club and to develop your ideas, business ideas, in order to implement them somewhere in the near future. But these are things that really our students, 2 of our students who are here today, will tell you more about. But what's really important from this slide that that's a full-time program. So 3-year full-time program that we have here. Internships, we mentioned 2 internships, which is the part of the program after the 1st and 2nd years. These are some of the companies that do these placements for our students. Those are really with the help and support of our alumni, but that's not necessarily. You can, of course, find them on your own as well. We only assist. We do not really guarantee them. And before the program starts, we organize so-called orientation week, when you can meet all the freshman students. It's a lot about team building and gathering, knowing better each other, and so on. But that's, again, students will be able to tell about more, of course, fun they have there, and so on. So when you come to the classroom in September, then you know each other already, and there are no bunch of strangers anymore. That's end of August. What to do, what are the criteria, and what to do to be enrolled, admitted into the program. Basically, you have to have secondary education, obviously. As the program is fully instructed in English, then we care whether you have substantial English, and therefore we ask TOEFL test or IELTS if you have taken it. Our intention is to develop you not only professionally to be a good managers, but also to add to your kind of personal values and so on. Therefore, already at this application point, it's important for us to get to know you better, who you are. So we ask you to tell us what you have done, what you have achieved in the essay. Also, we ask 2 recommendation letters, either from your teachers or any other leaders you have worked with for the same reason. And on top of it, there is interview, when we talk over what you have written in your application, what people have written about you, so that there's a full picture, and we know if our goals matches with yours. About the TOEFL, we organize our own TOEFL sessions, paper-based testing sessions, and now for the September fall admissions, there's only 1 date, 1 testing session when you can take it, and it's already next Saturday. What's good news are that for potential bachelor students, it's free of charge. But of course, you can't use it for other purposes, only for like our school, as they pay for that. If you have taken official TOEFL IBT or IELTS, of course, we accept that one too. And if you have studied in English-speaking country for some exchange year, or you have even diploma from English-speaking country, then we waive TOEFL. But if we speak about this testing session next Saturday, it's very important to keep that in mind and register as soon as possible if you would like to apply for this program. Extracurricular activities, so not only like personal statement and you see the particular topic we ask you to write about and word limit, but in the application form there's a section extracurricular activities, when you can tell about anything you have done, either it's sports or you have sang in a choir or debated, done like some debates or anything. Just how active you have been. And like I said, recommendation letters is not only from teachers. Those can be either employers if you have worked during summers or sports trainers and so on. And application deadline, now we have only one application deadline, which is July 15th, probably very similar to other schools. So we need to receive all the documents till July 15th. To sum it up, first it's application. In parallel with that, you register for TOEFL on 6th of July. Then all the copies of secondary school transcripts and diplomas. Once we have all that, then we arrange the interview. You come for the interview. And then afterwards, hopefully, you receive the positive admissions decision. How much does it cost? Here are the fees. So there's the one price for annual fee for the program done in Latvia, in Riga. And then there's difference if you do either the third year in BI or fourth year at UB. The payments are done by semester, not like you don't have to pay like annual fee right away. It's like semester based, and you can also split it if needed. Also, many of our students take loans. Since the program is accredited, then of course you can also get the state guarantee loans. This year it's from SEB Bank, and also we have cooperation with Nordea. But of course you can take it also from other banks. It's up to you. And to summarize, even though it was talked a lot about in the first two presentations by Tom and Jānis, I won't spend much time on that. Maybe the things that haven't been said before. The tuition, what you pay, includes everything. There's no additional fees. Like for instance, you receive a book for each subject, which, like for instance, MBA students pay additionally, which is a lot of money. But you can participate in all the events that are organized at schools, like people like Tom. They often come to workshops and seminars. And basically, once you are here, you belong to RBS community, which includes not only BBA students, but also MBA. Also, of course, all the databases we have in our library, you can get access to really significant financial databases and e-journals and stuff like that. But since we're really behind the schedule, if you don't have questions, then we can move on with our students. Or maybe surprise has happened and there are questions at this point about the application. You had a question?
Yeah, I was wondering about last year in Norway. Mm-hmm. Is it possible to take a loan for it?
I think there are no problems because we have this study fund that give loans for studies abroad. So Norway shouldn't be an exception. Anything else?